Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining me once again today, and welcome back to Once More Unto the Breach. It is turn 23. Let's see how we're doing. We did have that unfortunate stale, but beyond that, we should be okay. Alright, research and evocation is complete. We've got a couple more thrones claimed. We cast Dark Knowledge and found nothing. We cast Dark Knowledge and once again found nothing. That's unfortunate. We did create a Revenant, which is good. Now, we got to see a whole bunch of battles. Unexpected event has lost us some money, unfortunately. We cured a unit of disease, though. That's good. And we purchased Rexor's Barbarians. Okay, so let's look at these battles. A battle in Light Hills. That was nothing. Just ran over some Pangean defense with their Mushushus. Mushushus are actually a very good unit. The problem is you can only recruit one per month. If you were allowed to recruit multiple, they'd be quite solid. As it is, they're hard to mass up to the point where they're useful. Just out of curiosity, let me see if they maybe cast Blessing here, because I would like to see what Bless is. Does the Blessing go off? Yes, okay. So, Bless is Fortitude. And the morale +1, but that's just a general bless effect. Okay, so Fortitude... Ooh, I have to try to remember what that is. I think... Isn't Fortitude the lesser chance to get afflictions? That's an earth magic bless. But I know God also has nature magic. Interesting. Okay. Fear, slash resistant, blunt resistant... Oh no, wait a minute. That's what Fortitude is. Oh, that's a really powerful bless, actually. Yeah, that's half damage from all mundane damage sources. That's actually pretty good. Okay, interesting. Alright, there was a battle in Stinging Swamp. Pangea attacked me. And won against my province defense. They took out a couple of pygmies. They lost one Satyr Sneak, but with this tiny, tiny little force, they managed to cut off my units there. Interesting. They also attacked in Pangea and won. So this is where their main army went. They lost a bunch of Maenads and one Reveler, but their White Centaur force is entirely intact. All they had to fight against was province defense. And then in Ildmire, Agartha attacked Roos and won. They lost some of their great Olms, though. Let's view that battle. I think, was this at the fortress? Yes, this was them taking the fortress at Ildmire. So, when you attack a fortress, the enemy gets these free units that stay up on the walls. These are these Roosian hunters. Those are all effectively province defense. And then these, I think, are their actual troops. We've got a Roosian wizard who has fire, air, and nature, and is an adept researcher. They've got a priest. Back here they've got, looks like 2 thunder priests, one of whom has earth and nature, and one of whom has 2 nature. They are inept researchers, but they are pretty solid casters. Okay, and then he has a chieftain, and some Chud warriors, Roosian hunters, and all that back here, as well as a barbarian lord. Okay, not a terribly impressive force. So I wonder why they lost... Oh, just arrow fire, probably, because Olms have almost no protection. So the troops are going in, they're dropping lightning bolts. This Oracle of Subterranean Fires is diseased, interestingly, so he will eventually die. That's nice. But he has a ton of reinvigoration from his blessing, which gives him reinvigoration, magic resistance, penetration bonus, and mountain survival. So that means that the god of Agartha has earth and astral. Quite a bit of astral, actually. And then on top of that, he summoned earth power to give himself a lot of reinvigoration. And he is casting Earth Meld and fire darts, so it looks like he's probably gone off script. Fire darts, magma bolts, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, the Agarthan infantry actually has taken a real beating. and is now running, but the Olms are going to be able to finish this. Yeah, the Olms are actually going to go into melee now, it looks like. And the armies of Rus are running away. Except for him, he's stunned or petrified or something. Oh, nope, he's just still casting. He's just dropping lightning bolts like there's no tomorrow. Good on you, man. You're doing the best you can. But unfortunately, the best is not enough. Alright, so there goes Rus's fortress. Okay, so, if we look at the thrones, interestingly, only a few thrones are unclaimed. Hinnom has 2 of them. The Throne of Storms and the Throne of Beasts, which is really, really unfortunate. But we'll see what we can do about that. So, we've got this Pangean army right here. It's mainly white centaurs with a dryad mother besieging Ur's fort. I think Ur's army is going to come in there, and they know it, so we have this little setup here. Can you forge anything? No, you can forge skull talismans, and that's about it. So you are going to cast Dark Knowledge forever. You are going to keep creating revenants. So now I have a choice. If I wanted to, I could try and patrol and take on this army next to my province defense, but my province defense is just going to get totally run over. So instead, I think all of you guys are just going to research. Although, I could use some of my gems to summon some animals. I could summon lions, I could summon elephants. That requires 2 nature. Kinda has 3 nature, so he would get 6 elephants when he casts that. So I am actually tempted to have Kinda maybe summon some elephants. Or lions, or even fire ants. Fire ants are actually a decent summon. The unfortunate thing is that they're mindless. Might be worth it. Not fire ants, actually, because that would take fire gems. I could summon just a crap ton of ogres. I'm torn as to whether summoning or researching would be more valuable right at the moment. And you know what? I need some more troops. Let me summon a herd of elephants. Recruitment-wise, I do not have a whole lot of gold. I have now gotten to the point where I can, once again, recruit Magi here. So we are going to start recruiting a Buddha, and that is actually going to take up a lot of our gold. I have lost a whole bunch of resources because of losing Stinging Swamp. So, these guys are actually going to take Stinging Swamp back. This whole army, including Rexor and his barbarians. Rexor's barbarians are right out front. You are going to hold and then stay behind troops. Rexor, you'll be back here. So this whole army is gonna go in, nope, not that, and take out Rasenna, which will be great. Down here, I'm recruiting infantry. Here's what I'm thinking. I am thinking we're gonna give all the elephants to Nadif. Nadif is going to go down there. Hassan, with just the infantry, is going to go up here because I am willing to bet that this army is going to move away. Like I said, it is... Yeah, this army is 1 Hierophantid, 1 White Centaur, and 1 Satyr Sneak. 1 Scout. And I think... I'm going to view the battle real quick, but I know basically how it went. They blessed, and then they used the Blood Surge. Yeah. Because with the Blood Surge, my province defense cannot effectively kill that White Centaur. And of course, this province defense was pretty sucky anyway. But, like I said, with the Blood Surge, defense is pretty high. Attack skills also pretty decent. And of course, strength goes up, and he gets some reinvigoration. So that makes him really tough to deal with. Greater numbers might actually do it, especially because that Satyr... Ooh, that Satyr Sneak routed. So all that's here is the Centaur Commander and one White Centaur. So... this army can't take him, but... Web might actually be super, super useful. Cast Eagle Eyes, and then... not Vine Arrow. Yeah, Web. I think cast Web, and then cast spells. And down here, we'll take... just in case they actually stay, we'll be sure to take enough troops to finish them off. Mbarak and Harun are both going to research. That will kick my research back up to a reasonable level. Over here, Karim and Zuri, you all are defending. Why are you defending instead of researching? You all research. You're preaching in an effort to lower enemy dominion. A not very efficient effort. So, a couple of options for what I can do with my remaining money. I can recruit some more troops up here. I have a few infantry and a few random archers. I could use some more. But my recruitment points are almost non-existent. Because I lost Stinging Swamp, I guess? Or no, it's just the recruitment points here were just always bad. Oh dear, okay, what can I get? Well, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna start massing pygmies. Because pygmies can be massed very, 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 very cheaply. And if you recruit Lion Queens, who have 3 fire, Lion Queens can lead a force of pygmies, and they can cast flaming arrows, which all of a sudden makes pygmies a lot more dangerous. So you're creating Revenants, which takes 2. You can actually spend death gems to summon skeletons. But I don't want you to. Down here, now I said I was going to have these guys research, actually I lied. What I'm going to have them do is set up part of the next strategy, which is they are going to summon shades. And those shades will effectively be their bodyguards when they move out on their own. I have 17 gold, 0 recruitment points up here, so we will throw in one more. We only have 10 resources, 1 Lion Clan warrior. That'll be fine. Down here, I'm still recruiting elephants and infantry, which is okay, because eventually what I'm going to do is recruit a Lion Queen down here, and have her join the war effort. Shahidi, still just preaching, just kind of keep an eye on this. Those troops are not terribly, terribly useful at the moment, but that's okay. The scout network is finally getting up to what I would consider acceptable saturation. I still need to know what's going on over here, like Rus. Has Rus been conquered? I don't know. But the fact that there's an Agarthan army over here kind of makes me think maybe so. Shiar, there's no defense here, that's bad. Shiar needs to wait just another turn and then build another fortress, because I need a fortress there. But we're going to have a pretty decent army here next turn, with all the elephants, the infantry I'm recruiting. Those guys, and then we'll have this whole army, including all of Rexor's barbarians, who are low morale, but still should be useful as meat shields, if nothing else. Down here, actually, I don't know that I need fire elementals to deal with this, so instead, Well, I can cast Fireball. Let's just Phoenix Power and Fireball for now. With conservative gem usage. Yeah, let's do that. Let's not blow our fire elemental load just yet. And cast one more fireball in there. And then cast spells. And cast spells. Okay. And you all can kind of be up there. That's Karum. Now Marifa can kind of be up there as well. With nature, actually, you can also... You can help yourself out even more by casting Eagle Eyes before you fireball, which will help your accuracy, because your precision is nothing special. Yeah, it's only 10. So Eagle Eyes will make that better. Okay. So that army should be able to take out Rasenna, which will get me a whole bunch more income that I desperately, desperately need. And then we should be able to go straight in against Mictlan starting next turn. This army up here is doing fine. Alator, you are casting Dark Knowledge. Are you doing that forever? Yeah, you do that forever. Okay. Because I really do need Death Sights. Research-wise, yeah, we'll leave them on research right now. Research-wise, they're a tiny, tiny bit better than that Revenant, because he's not in a magic domain. But Matwa is going to keep creating Revenants who will start to research, and that will start to add up really, really quickly. Once I get my construction done and return to enchantment, that Death 3 will become very, very useful, because in enchantment at Death 3, you can get Horde of Skeletons without costing much fatigue. I think with Death 3 and some items, it should be possible to become fatigue neutral, casting Horde of Skeletons. And then, later on, my Earth 3 Buddhas will be able to cast Hidden in Sand, which can be cast in Wastelands, and takes a whole bunch of Earth Gems to give you an army with mages. And potentially also hidden underneath if I take Caves. But, you know, we'll see where that goes. They will also be able to cast Reanimate Archers, interestingly, which is good, kind of, because Long Dead Archers fire Banefire arrows, which wither enemies. They cause the enemies to decay, which can be really, really useful, but, you know, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I do definitely want to get up to enchantment level 5, probably right after my construction, I'm thinking. Although, going down Alteration is also tempting, if only for Iron Skin. But I already have Stone Skin, so that should be okay. Yeah, I think we're going to hit Enchantment 5 after construction is done, and then we will take another look. I also do want Conjuration level 5 pretty quickly, but we'll leave that as my goals for now. Alright, yeah, you stay there. You stay there. You staying there is fine. So wait, fought another battle. It looks like might have gotten some mercenaries as well. Yes, hired some mercenaries down here. So what was the battle in Light Hills? Where's Light Hills? Oh, interesting. So I'm only seeing one Mushushu, but I know for a fact that there are actually still 5. Okay, that's fine. Hassan's lost a few crippled units. Whatever. Alright, that's going to be it for this turn. So I will see you all in the next one. Take care. 17 commanders are doing nothing. Who's doing nothing? That's fine. Can I, like... Yeah, hide and wait. You want to... I want you to stay there. That's fine. You, actually, I do want to move. Okay, we should be good. I think. I still have not found Niffleheim's capital, interestingly. It must be around here somewhere. There is a Niffleheim Fortress. Well, we'll see what we can see. You can move down this way, actually. And... yeah. Alright. That will be it for real. Take care. Alright, welcome back. It is turn 24. Let's see what trouble we've gotten into. We got 5 fire gems from Oh, that's right. Yes, I need to forge an item for this turn, and then ship it off. We've summoned shades, created a revenant, no new magic sites, we've summoned elephants and more shades. We've taken the province Stinging Swamp, which is fine. There was a battle in Giant's Spine. Ooh, so it looks like Tianqi is attacking Mictlan. Well, that explains where all Mictlan's forces have gone. So, Warriors of the 5 Elements and 106 archers. Wow. This is a very significant army. It has no magic, though. It's just archers, Warriors of the 5 Elements. They took some casualties, not too crushing. And they inflicted absolutely crushing casualties. Feathered Warriors, all dead. Jaguar Warriors, all dead. Now, they did have a tribal king here. Moon Warriors, almost all dead. And Warriors, all dead. Let's view this battle so we can confirm Mictlan's blessing. Yeah, that arrow storm, though. Is Mictlan not casting a blessing? I don't think Mictlan is blessing his Jaguar Warriors. Interesting. You can see some of the Jaguar Warriors have already transformed into Were-Jaguars, which they do when they take enough damage. But this is not going to go well for Mictlan. These footmen are basically just kind of solid defensive troops. They have a pretty good defense skill and okay protection. And they're just holding these guys in place, while the Warriors of the 5 Elements over here, they have Air Shield, so a high-level Air Bless, a decent level Water Bless, and Blood Surge. You may have noticed you've seen Blood Surge a lot. Blood Surge is really, really powerful. Like, Tianqi doesn't have any blood magic. The only reason to take blood on a Tianqi pretender is to get Blood Surge. But it just makes, especially Warriors of the 5 Elements, which are already very, very dangerous, it makes them incredibly more dangerous. So, I think we can already see how this battle's going to go. With the infantry mostly locked down, the massive Tianqi Archer Brigade is just going to plow them under with arrows. And that's the whole ball game. Okay, interesting. So Mictlan is in a ton of trouble. Battle in Yildmir. Roos is counterattacking. He has 2 Porkunus, which are very, very powerful mages. This is their top tier mage, I believe. They have 3 air, 1 astral, 2 nature, and then a 10% chance of another random. Also, they are werebears. He has 2 Sons of Heaven, who have fire, air, nature, and then a random. And he had 1 Thunder Priest. In addition, lots of Chewed Hunters, Chewed Warriors, and Rusian Hunters. 90 units all told. He suffered 30 casualties, and he took out most of the army, including almost all of the Great Olms, which is definitely very, very good for him. Let's view that battle as well. So the Rus-Agartha War is going back and forth. Okay, lots and lots of spells going off. It looks like they have gotten, yes, they've Reinvigoration. They've been blessed, so their blessing is Precision +4, so Air, Reinvigoration, Earth, and Magic Resistance, Astral. Earth, Air, and Astral. That Son of Heaven has a point of Astral. That Porkunu got a really lucky random and is an Air Mage level 4, which is terrifyingly powerful. He's also given himself Air Shield. And now they're casting Aim over on the other side. I know this takes a long time, I'm just kind of trying to go through everybody's magic. This Oracle, this is the diseased Oracle from before, has dropped a bless. We've already seen their bless. Lots of earth and lots of astral. And he's also given himself earth power. And he has some earth gems as well, this earth reader. Ooh, level 3 earth mage. Interesting. I thought earth readers were normally not that powerful. I mean, still powerful, but... Okay. Frightened, we're getting some stellar decrees. Magma bolts flying out. Yeah, the only problem with magma bolts is that they're slow. Somebody just cast Rust Mist, which is not a spell you see often. It makes armor rusty. Now, that's actually probably a good idea for Agartha because it's not going to affect their bronze armor, but it will affect the Rusian iron armor. Assuming, of course, that they move through the mist. That was a little bit of friendly fire. Okay, we've got an earth elemental helping out here. So those troops are getting obliterated. We have lightning bolts, it looks like, coming down. Lots and lots of stellar decrees. Oh, healing light. And thunder strikes. So it looks like the Rusians are going with a mix of support spells and air evocations. And the Agarthans are using earth evocations mainly. And holy spells. Yep, those thunder strikes are doing a lot. Healing light, I think, is an astral. I'll have to double check what healing light is, because I don't actually know off the top of my head. Now they're throwing some fireballs. They've gone well off script at this point. Yep, more lightning bolts, more air evocations, but the main force of the Agarthan army is gone. And now these great Olms are taking Thunderstrike hits that are not helping them at all. And there the Agarthans rout with their infantry destroyed. Okay. So yeah, that was bloody on both sides, but it was definitely worse for the Agarthans. They lost a lot more. And I think that can really be put down to the inferior quality of their troops. Chewed warriors are just much, much better than, say, Cavern Guards. They're really much more solid units, which is reflected in their gold cost, although resource-wise, they're actually much less expensive. Despite having almost the same protection, so that's interesting. In any case, definitely Agartha came off worse in that trade. In Rasenna, we won easily. 12 heavy cavalry trampled. We lost 2 barbarians and 1 Rhino clan warrior. And attacked Pangaea and won. Caught that white centaur army, wiped out their centaur leadership. The Dryad Mother is still alive, but all of their white centaurs are now dead. Let's see what the NC was casting. Just out of curiosity. Might give me an idea as to where research is. He's casting Divine Blessing first, appropriately. And then... what's he doing next? I can't scroll backwards. Sermon of Courage. It looks like he's scripted to do holy spells. Okay, so it looks like I said, it looks like he's just scripted to cast holy spells. So that indicates to me that magical research is actually not very far progressed, because... come on, show me the stupid him. Because with 3 water, he should at least be able to do something. Well, he doesn't have any gems, so he couldn't summon elementals. And the Mushushus, of course, are wreaking havoc because of their... actually, they don't have trample. I thought they had trample. Well, but they have a ton of attacks, and a lot of hit points, and they cause fear. And with Fortitude, they're very, very hard to kill. So, this is one way to counteract Blood Vengeance. By making his troops very hard to kill, he's made it harder to get Blood Surge. Has made it harder to get Blood Surge, and also made it pay off less because... the higher damage is partially negated by the extra resilience that his holy troops have, his sacreds. You can see the white centaurs are still not going down without a fight, but they do go down. So, that's the end of that battle. Yeah, the white centaurs got 14 kills. Almost all, in fact, I think all of the kills were white centaurs. But it just wasn't enough. Unexpected event. Oh, I lost 11 astral pearls. That sucks. And I got misfortune. Okay, that's fine. So, let's see where we're at. So, Pangaea is basically dead at this point. Down here, I need to negotiate with Tianxi because, of course, my plan was now to take this army straight in to attack Mictlan, but Mictlan is clearly already under attack. That said, we are definitely going to jump in on the party. I don't know where those troops went, which bothers me a little bit, but Hassan and Friend are going to move down this way. You're casting Dark Knowledge, you are going to research. You are still creating Revenants, but I'm almost out of Death Gems, actually, so stop doing that. Kinda. So I've summoned these elephants. Now, these elephants are worse than my elephants because they have morale 8. As opposed to morale... What's my war elephant's morale? Yeah, morale 10. However, they can still be led by Beastmasters, which will improve that. So I'm going to give all those elephants to Dada, which will kick their morale up immediately. All of these pygmies I'm going to give to Kinda. And Kinda... can you cast anything good? Not yet. Okay, you guys need to not be casting all that. Phoenix Power might be worth it. But mainly, I think I want you guys doing... Yeah, Eagle Eyes. Let's go Phoenix Power, Eagle Eyes, and Fireball. Times 3. So that is... that. Now, Babu and Jitu are my Hyena Clan Witch Doctors. I am going to set somebody to forge that ring, because I don't think I've forged it yet. I have a Vine Bow and Shambler Skin Armor, for some reason. We're going to forge. I also have the Snake Ring. Interesting. Which is an interesting assassination item, but I don't have any assassins. We're going to forge a Ring of Fire here, and next turn I will ship it off to thus fulfilling my requirement there. Now, I don't have much money, and I kind of actually want to save some money, because I want to build another fort. Mbarak and Harun. They just summoned Shades. And the Shades are, yes, some random members of the Shade party here are cursed. Which is interesting, because I know for a fact there's no death site here. So I don't know what site is cursing people. I'm actually gonna have to spend the time to look up sites that curse people. 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to guard commander, and you are going to guard commander. I'm gonna have to look that up because this is frustrating at this point. I'm up to 154 research points per turn. You actually, I need to stop summoning. Yeah, I need to stop summoning revenants. You just research. I have enough death. I can afford to move around to find death sites if I want to. It was a good try, but not worth maintaining at this point. This little army, I am actually going to stop recruiting here for now because basically I don't want to go this way and fight. I don't want to fight Hinnom. I am scared of Hinnom. Hinnom has, like, a lot of provinces. That's Wolfen Plain. I still... Have I found Niffleheim yet? No. I still have not found Niffleheim. That's not it. It's not down there. That's not it. Where is Niffleheim? I am confused. It must be like one of these or something. Because I know it's none of these. Wolfen Plain. There's a nice Niffleheimish army over there, but Niffleheim is pretty big, actually. I mean, look at this. They've got 3, 6. I think they've got both of these. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20. They used to have that. That was just taken by a event. Interesting, interesting, interesting. So, these guys need a fire gem each in order to cast their Phoenix power. These guys, Babu and Jitu, what can you do for me? You can cast Hand of Death. Interesting. That's kind of a useless spell. You can cast Shadow Bolt. And so Shadow Bolt basically does a whole bunch of armor negating but magic resistance negates damage. And then it also paralyzes people close by, or it can. You can also cast Raise Skeletons, so you guys are kind of weak skelly spammers. And if I were to give you certain items, you could get better, but it's not hardly worth it. What you can do is forge and search for death sites. You can't forge much at the moment because I haven't researched construction, because I'm researching evocation. But next level, I will get Blade Wind, and I will also get Bane-fired darts. I should already have Magma Bolts. I do have Magma Bolts. So what you can do, Babu and Jitu, you don't have any aiming spells, but you can cast Magma Bolts 24/7, 365. So what I would probably have you do is I would drop... you can't Earth Might. I would probably give you an Earth Gem, have you summon Earth Power, and then Magma Bolt. So, let's do that. Let's give you an Earth Gem. Babu, let's give you an Earth Gem. And I want you to summon Earth Power. And then Magma Bolts. Cast spells. Okay. So now you are productive members of society. So now I actually have a pretty significant evocation spamming cohort. Down here, I am recruiting Buddhas. Up here, this temple, I have a temple here. And yet I have no dominion because of all the heresy. Like, I have a lot of heresy up here, guys. I have 4 points of heresy, which is 1 below the limit that guarantees that you lose a point of dominion every turn. So, that's probably not going to change. I'm still recruiting Spider Clan Witch Doctors over there. I have a temple down here in Agrarian now. I kind of want to retake that province, but I can't. And my recruitment points are poor, and my resources are also really poor. So I could build a fortress here, but all that fortress would be useful for would be crapping out war lions, because they take no recruitment points, and it couldn't even recruit many war lions because it wouldn't get many resources. So really, the only valuable thing would be to have a fort at a lab and another mage recruitment point, but that would be better done here in Droigar. So, especially because there's already a magic site here. Yeah, actually, let's keep our scouts spreading across the land. And then I will probably build a fort here. Let's pull Shahidi back, I guess. I probably shouldn't have put that temple out there. I should have put it right here where I plan to build the fort, but these things happen. I want to recruit a Lion Queen now. Over here I'm recruiting Buddhas. Up here I'm recruiting Hyena Clan for research purposes. That's fine, and I am also crapping out tons and tons of pygmies. Down here, We could also go the tons and tons of pygmies route. Over here, 50 recruitment points. Let's get an elephant. Actually, tell you what, let's keep on with infantry. We are going to put all the elephants in one group, all the infantry in another group. And we're gonna go straight forward. You're going to attack the closest. And you are going to attack the closest. Now right now you're summoning earth elementals, but I don't actually want you to do that. I want you to cast Strength of Giants. And then I want you to drop Earth Melds. And then you can cast spells. You don't need Earth Gems for any of that, so I'm going to take your Earth Gems back. Haroon could actually follow the same scripting. Or even, I don't have Construction. I don't have Construction 3. If I had Construction 3, he could cast the spell that increases the protection of my Rhino Clan warriors, which will be pretty useful. But we'll just stick with Strength of Giants. You are going to summon Earth Power. And then you are going to... you can spam Earth Meld forever. Or you can... You have 2 deaths, so you could raise skeletons. Or you could Magma Bolts. Magma Bolts from you would do a ton of damage. Earth Elementals are slow, is their only downside. I don't need a few Elementals to back up this army. I would need a whole bunch of Elementals. So instead, what if you could throw Magma Bolts. And why don't we raise skeletons? Let's have you raise skeletons. Just kind of mix in some chaff. So we're going to have you guys up there and down there with your shade bodyguards. Ooh, actually. Single commander there and a single dog. So Nadif is going to go in there. And Nadif, yeah, is set up to Barkskin himself and then to cast spells, which is fine. Mbarak, what I could do... I've got those guys set to guard commander. I can only have 1 set of bodyguards, but what I could do is I could send Haroon on his own. Have Mbarak backing up the troops. You all hold and attack closest. With Mbarak back a little ways. With these 5 guarding him. You actually attack rear. We'll have the elephants do that. And then Haroon, he can summon Earth Power and then raise skeletons. It's not really a full Skelly spam, but it's something. And with these shades backing it up, I think he can probably take on Province Defense. Actually, no. For Haroon, if he's doing that, it's not going to be skeletons. It's going to be Earth Elementals. Earth or Fire Elementals. Which one? I have more Earth Gems, so it'll be Earth Elementals. Yeah, with summoning Earth Power, he'll be up to Earth 3, which will mean that'll only be like 33 fatigue. We're going to give him 8 gems. And so he will go down with his shades guarding him. He'll attack that way. You two will attack that way. We'll take both of these provinces in 1 turn. This army, I have Rexor's Barbarians for 2 more months. This army is going to attack Chilad. I'm going to set that attack. I am going to have to talk to Tianxi about that. But I am taking Chilad. And I don't think he can necessarily stop me. Especially not because these guys do have their gems, and they can summon Fire Elementals, and Fire Elementals will make all those archers very, very sad very, very quickly. Especially because I know his scripting. So let me look at his scripting, actually. One more time. In Giant Spine, I need to see how he's scripted his troops. So he's got all his archers, and they are shooting at cavalry, possibly. They might be shooting at cavalry, or they might just be firing closest. He's got his infantry on hold and attack in 2 lines in front of the archers. Probably just a double line. And then he's got the warriors of the 5 elements on the flank, scripted to hold and attack. Yeah, the archers are on fire closest. These guys are on hold and attack closest also, I believe. Because they didn't even try to attack the rear, they just went straight in. Yeah, I think they're also on hold and attack closest. Okay, so to beat this army, what I need is... They are set along the top and set to hold and attack closest. So what I need is, I would need the fire elementals to be up on the top. I would need the war elephants to be attacking there, and I would need the... I'm sorry, the war lions. And I need the war elephants to go straight into the infantry. Actually, I don't need that. I need the elephants to attack the rear. Because my goal would be to get the elephants into the archers ASAP, which they can do because they're quite fast. Meanwhile, Marifa and Karumi need to be set to summon lesser fire elementals. So that's what they're going to do, because the reason this is effective is because the fire elementals are ethereal. And so they will, 75% of attacks against them will just miss. Also, they have a fire shield, so attacks on them in melee will do damage back to the enemy. So I think overall, because he didn't have a magic weapons blast, did he? I'm confident that he didn't. He had air shield and what else? It's air shield, defense, and blood surge. So their defense skill is crazy high, but that doesn't matter if they're actually getting hit anytime they attack. And the blood surge only activates when they kill something, which against a few fire elementals they wouldn't. So I think that might be a decent way to handle it. Okay, so I'm going to set that order. Down here, I'm not recruiting troops at the moment. I am recruiting another big mage. Shiar is just going to have to keep waiting for now. Up here, I have a pretty significant army, actually. All of this is promised to so I'm not going to compete with him about that. But what I am going to do is I'm going to take Matwa and Kinda and Dada over here to take that throne, which I think those 3 in conjunction can accomplish. All these pygmies, because it's heavy infantry but then wizards. Hopefully I can hit some of the wizards with archery. And those elephants, I'm just going to tell to attack rear. And kinda, enlarge, I don't need you casting enlarge. And you only have 1 earth. So for you, probably also earth elementals, actually. It's probably bark skin, earth power, earth elementals? Yeah. Have some gems. And Matwa, you are going to summon earth power, strength of giants, and then earth meld. So you'll be right up behind the infantry. You won't be quite that up behind the infantry. Kinda is going to be down here to the side a little bit, because I know they don't have any, like, big cavalry type units. And all of these guys can join the archer parade, and you guys will fire at enemy archers if they have any archers. If they don't, that'll just default to, you know, not archers. I don't want to send the evocation brigade because I want them researching. My research is bad enough, and I don't want to make it any worse. Especially now that I'm moving all these other mages. Well, it might be worth it, though. Because they do have 4 wizards there. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna... Oh, I don't want to send everybody. I'll tell you what. I won't send Babu and G2. I'll send everybody else. That won't hurt my research nearly so much because these guys are bad at research anyway. Okay, so we're going to do all that. We're sending that army away. Still recruiting a whole bunch of pygmies there. Still recruiting infantry here. I have 231 gold left, which I am going to save because I want to build a fortress and a lab as... Well, I want to start the fortress up here first. And then I'll be wanting to build a fortress and a lab down here as well. Because more fortresses means more mages, means more research, means more magic, means more victory. And we are definitely going to get in on the whole fighting Mictlan thing. The goal here definitely is going to be the barbarians will go in first and get killed. And the spearmen here will kind of form a bit of a second line. With fire large monsters on, I think these pygmies will be sporadically showering arrows at his commander, which is good. Vinzel will be in the back, attracting attention. Also good. Just in case those warriors are on attack rear, hopefully some of them will go after him. And losing him would be like, whatever. And then we have the fire elementals up there. Okay, so if Tianchi is not amenable to letting me have Chilad without a fight, he should hopefully... It'll depend on timing. Because if he moves in and then my army goes in, then this will work. If my army goes in and then his army goes in, then it won't, because I'll have already wasted the fire elementals on the enemy province defense. But hey, maybe they don't have much province defense. Let's look on the bright side. Maybe my mages won't summon elementals. They probably will. So actually, I am going to... Won't help. I need to have the gems on them just in case. What I am going to do, though, is I'm going to take off 2 gems. That should be Saburi. Nope, not Rexor. Nope. I'm transferring the gems, is what I'm trying to do. And now it won't let... Oh, crap. Okay, that was hugely frustrating. I have forgotten, once you give things to a mercenary commander, you cannot take them away. So by accidentally selecting Rexor, I just gave him 5 fire gems that he can never use, and that I can never get back. So that is hugely frustrating. Because, now I'm just sunk. Now I... That's hilarious. And terrible. That's like the worst thing I could possibly have done. Okay, well, keep that in mind. Yeah, if you give anything to a mercenary, you can never take it back. So he'll just die now. And I don't have enough gems to actually summon any significant number of fire elementals. Barak, can you get down here in 1 turn? No. Okay, don't do that then. Actually, Barak, can you get down here in 1 turn? No. Okay. Alright, never mind. That is going to be the turn. I'll move my scouts, but I'll do that off camera. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next turn. Alright, it is turn 25. Let's see how well we've done. Alright, research and construction is complete. We've got construction level 2, so now we can start forging items. Very basic items, but items nonetheless. We have found 2 magic sites in the Ashlands, Boiling Bog and Smolderstone. I believe that's a fire-water site, and that might be a fire-earth site. That's just a fire site, and yeah, that's a fire-water site. Okay, good. So our fire income is up to 5, our water income is up to 6, and our earth income is at 5. Astral Death and Nature are lagging a little bit, as is Air, but we're doing okay. We are doing acceptably well. Battle in Halbathria, which we won. We lost 4 of our barbarians, and we wiped out the province defense and 1 commander they had here. Let's see how the scripting worked, because this was where the main force ended up going. So our mages are protecting themselves or summoning earth power. The lions are going forward. Now they're dropping protection on themselves. Haroon is casting Stone Skin. My evocationers are casting Eagle Eyes. My army, of course, is basically just running over the enemy. So now, I believe with nothing within range of them, they are just casting Animate Dead. Yeah, Karume just cast Animate Dead and got a couple of Soulless Warriors, which is fine, you know, no problem. Karun... One second. He's Haroon, right? Haroon cast Strength of Giants on... I think his Shades. Yeah, he cast it centered on himself. So his Shades are now stronger, and Haroon is now much stronger. But I don't think it hit anybody who actually needed it, because the infantry had already advanced too far. Okay, that's too bad. So we'll have to work on that. In Snowford, we trampled the province defense with absolutely 0 casualties. In Chilad, the forces of Tianxi attacked the province defense. This is that forted province. So, to discuss, this was a big province defense. It achieved almost nothing. It killed some archers. So I had a long discussion with Tianxi, in which we both postured and we both talked and threatened each other a little bit, and eventually the agreement we reached was he was actually going to take Chilad, and I was going to take all the provinces up here. So these two, plus these 3, including Mictlan's capital, and their fortress in Karnag. I concluded that that was probably an okay and acceptably even trade. So, that's what we're going to do, and it prevented us from having to fight a war. We will have our Lion Queen next turn. We've got Mbamba, and up here, Jita and Babu, and we are now recruiting Spider Clan Witch Doctors in order to get better research. So, we can now forge some basic magical items. We don't have the ones that are really good and that we really want yet, but we have some basic thugging items at this point. So we can forge the Mace of Eruption, which has an area of effect fire damage attack. We can forge the Horror Helmet, which gives the wearer fear and a lot of head protection. We can forge Fire Plate, which gives a morale bonus and is also pretty solid armor. It does, however, have an encumbrance and movement penalty. So I won't really be using it. Plus, actually, the Black Steel Plate is just better, except for the morale bonus. The morale bonus is pretty good. Boot-wise, we can forge Strength Boots or Trample Boots, neither of which are terribly impressive. We can forge the Champion's Skull, which gives you free experience every month. It's not terribly relevant, though. The Cat's Eye Amulet is actually better. It gives a stealth boost and dark vision, which is pretty cool. The Lodestone Amulet gives magic resistance. The Bracers of Protection might be a good miscellaneous item for some of our troops. Fire in a Jar, however, is a really cool one. If we distribute fire in a jar to our Fire 1 mages, and they can actually forge it, then they can use the free gem it gives them in order to cast Phoenix Pyre, which will then make them effectively Fire 2 at no extra cost. So that's kind of a cool thing to consider. The Burning Pearl is good for thugs, people you anticipate going into melee with. I don't have any of those at the moment, so it's kind of irrelevant. The Skull Talisman gives you a free undead in every battle. Now, I need to send to first thing, before I forget this, I need to send that Ring of Fire to Ur. So that's done. Good. This army, are they all set up? So you are Stone Skin, Summon Earth Power, Summoning Elementals. You are Phoenix Power, Eagle Eyes, Fireball. You are Summon Earth Power, Strength of Giants, Stone Skin, and then Earth Melds, and you will cast spells. And you are also Phoenix Power, Eagle Eyes, and Fireballs. Okay, so I think this army can take that throne. Now, in order to actually claim a throne, either my prophet or my god needs to be up there. So Funny Guy is going to jump. Can he jump straight into that province? No, he's going to jump all the way up here to Behemoth's Rest. Over here, since I have the free lab, I am going to build a palisades in Urfel. That is long overdue. I need to start recruiting mages here, like, pronto. And while I'm thinking of it, I will kick the province defense up to 10. Over here I have 25. Okay, Mictlanese-wise, so there is Mictlan's army, including their god, the Hun-Balam. Here is Tian Shi's army besieging Mictlan's fortress. This is not a large army. The only threatening thing in it is the Hun-Balam, Mictlan's god. Now, I don't imagine that Mictlan has gotten a whole ton of research done, which is good. But that Hun-Balam is still incredibly, incredibly dangerous. So, yeah, that's why. So you need to be on... Yeah, you need to be on attack closest, because you have to go in right after the barbarians. So, Haroun. Strength of Giants. I need you to cast it right away, actually, in order for it to be useful. So, cast Strength of Giants, then summon Earth Power, and then at that point, I don't think they have much by way of archers, so you shouldn't really need to protect yourself. So at that point, start Earth Melding, I think is what I want you to do. What I also need to do is, I need to distribute those fire gems to my, not you, Haroun. Give you 7. Give you 6. Okay, so with that, I can now have you guys first Phoenix Power and then summon Lesser Fire Elementals. 3 or 4 times. So now you guys can summon backup for me. So you two are up there. I have my commander with his bodyguards way in the back, where he is going to sit. Hopefully, ideally the Hun-Balam would attack Vinzel. These guys will be slightly ahead of Vinzel. So, the plan. These elephants are going to attack rear down at the side. These lions are going to rush forward. These two are going to spam fire elementals. And then they're on cast spells. He is going to buff the frontline troops and then trap enemy troops. Well, we're going to be locked in melee pretty quickly, so Earth Meld might not be the best. The very best spell. See, Hand of Dust and Hand of Death are not terribly powerful. Weakness. Damages the life force of the target, making it permanently weaker. If I could be sure that would target the Hun-Balam, that might actually be really useful. Shadow Bolt, not so much. Frighten. Decay. Magic resistance negates it, though. I have to check what the magic resistance of a Hun-Balam is, but I believe it's quite high. The magic resistance of pretty much all the gods are quite high. So you actually might be best served by summoning Earth Elementals. They can regenerate. Basically what I need is, so there's 30 Jaguar Warriors, and 30 Jaguar Warriors are capable of probably winning against this infantry if it's unsupported, especially because the Barbarians' morale is very, very low. My Rhino clan have better morale, and with the Strength of Giants on them, they will be hitting at Strength 16, which is pretty substantial. That said, I still don't necessarily think they can take on 30 Jaguar Warriors. What I might have to do is get all these troops involved as well. And just spam out huge numbers of elementals. And of course have huge numbers of elephants. Why don't you... what do you have? Do you have 3? You have 3 Earth. So you cast Strength of Giants right off the bat. Then summon Earth Power. And then Earth Elementals. Haroon. You summon Earth Power and then Earth Elementals. I think that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try and bury the Hunbalam in Elementals. Looking at my messages. Also, I had a couple of unexpected events I didn't look at. Misfortune. Toads are raining from the sky. Okay, that's fine. Oh, I found some gold in Droigar. And Nadif has become a hero. So he has Iron Will, which gives him increased magic resistance by +2. So his magic resistance is now 15. That would be better if it were on a mage who mattered more. But as it is, it'll be okay. You may notice these guys are carrying tons of gems. I am using him as basically a gem repository to replace used earth gems. For example, Mbarak here, when he earth powers himself and starts summoning lesser earth elementals, he'll burn through his earth gems. And I have so many earth gems, I'm okay with handing them out like candy. Fire gems I don't have quite as many of, but I'm still okay with handing them out because you gotta do what you gotta do, you know? Now, I can give all these troops to Mtoto, and Mtoto can join that force down there, as can possibly Mbamba. Actually, Mbamba, change shape, please. You can still research in hyena shape if necessary. I'm getting enchantment up to level 4 and then 5, which will take several turns. Up here, I'm recruiting Spider Clam Witch Doctors. Fine, fine, fine. The question is, so this army, I don't know whether it's going to go after Tianchi or me. Since I am a direct threat to the capital, it'll probably go after me. This army could jump in any of these directions. It could go to any of these provinces. So, what I have to do is I have to move in enough force that I can be confident of defeating it, plus potentially whatever reinforcements they get from Mictlan. Now, what he might see. So I see about 30 units with a Hunbalam, the god. That could be off significantly because I don't have a scout. So that could be as much as 60 units or as few as 15, I believe. This army is about 30 units. He cannot see Mbarak. So what he will see, but he knows exactly what's in both these armies because he just saw them in battle. So he knows that I have 90 units over here, including one hidden were-hyena, one hidden Buddha. He knows that I have 35 units here, including one Buddha. He does not know that I have a third Buddha back here, Mbamba. So Mbamba can... Let's summon Earth Power. Let's have you cast Earth Grip. Let's have you just spam out Earth Grip and then cast spells. And Mtoto. So, Mtoto and Mbamba move down here. This army, well, this is actually the smaller and weaker army. So you two move there. And this army... Well, okay, it's a question of whether I want to go for the Gusto or not. Did this, Snowford... I actually want to watch this battle because I want to see if the Strength of Giants accomplished anything. No, he's casting Summon Earth Power. So he summoned Earth Power, casting Bark Skin. Now what? He's preparing to cast Stone Skin. Oh, right, he was scripted to buff himself. Okay, the elephants are just trampling away. And the armies of Mictlan are already routed by the time the first Earth Elemental was summoned. Fine. We did kill a dog. Poor dog. Basically, here's my quandary. If this army attacks either of my two forces, I'm worried they might lose. So, Hassan, you can stay. What I want is, I want these units, with their 2 elephants and their extra infantry, to jump in support of one army, and I want the other army to take another province. I think this army with the elemental spam can probably deal with the Hunbalam. But that might be wishful thinking on my part. I'm gonna try it though. I'm gonna send them straight in here. These guys are gonna hold tight with the backup of Mbamba and Mtoto. So Mbarak is summoning elementals. You actually, let's give you some earth gems as well. And you can also spam elementals. Lesser elementals are not nearly as impressive as greater elementals, but you know what? It's gonna have to be okay. So, in the meantime, since you guys are standing here, you can search for magic sites. And we will also get some province defense to help back us up. We'll also get a little bit of province defense down here. In case he attacks. If he attacks, it'll be rather random which province we fight him, whether he gets his province defense or I get mine. But I think I should be able to handle it effectively. As soon as we get our Lion Queen down here, we're going to go back to recruiting some researchers. I'm going to recruit Buddhas out of this province forever, or at least as long as I can. And in this province, we're also going to continue recruiting... we're also going to continue recruiting Spider Clan for now. I could recruit more Hyena Clan, but once again, the heresy is bad. You are building a palisade. Okay, good. Everything is fine, I think. Let's look at our scouts real quick. You can stay there. Ah, so there is at least one Melkart, possibly two. They're building a fort here. Hinnom is, that is. Mainly scouts, mainly Avite scouts. A single Wind Master. Is that a mercenary? No. Ah, that's right, I need to rehire Rexor's Barbarians. So... So they need 40 pounds of gold. We're going to give them all of our remaining money, which counts double. So in order to take it away from me, someone else would have to bid 117. Now I hope and believe that since I've given them an order, as long as I win the bid, they will still execute that order. If they don't, then I might be in trouble, because then all of a sudden more than half of my infantry just doesn't do what I want them to do. Actually, I'll tell you what. I might send this army down there as well. I would like to split up at this point, but I feel like I need to defeat Tlatoani Ocelotl before I can... I know I butchered that, sorry. Before I can be secure, if that makes sense. I really feel like I need to deal with him. But we're doing good. I like where we are so far. Getting our research done up here. I do actually have enough death gems that I could create a couple more revenants. So I'm going to do that just to boost research. I know 9 gems is kind of a lot for 7 research points, but I have the death gems right at the moment. I'm not using them for anything right at the moment. I'll be using them for things soon, though. That's the thing. Yeah, that just gives me skeletons. That's a waste. That gives me a Mound King. That's also kind of a waste. That gives me a good scout, but that's a super waste. No, go back to researching. I mean, let's do 1. We'll do 1 to boost my research, but long term, it's a good idea to boost research as quickly as you can, but it's also a very good idea to get gems as quickly as you can. And right now, my death gem income is fairly low. I'm good on fire, I'm good on water, I'm good on earth. I don't actually use water gems for anything. I just alchemized a whole bunch of them to have more fire gems. I don't think I showed that. I did make some changes to the turn after I recorded the last video, so sorry about that. But, had to be done. It was after my negotiations with Tianxi. I had to change what I was doing a little bit. Okay, we'll see how this works. I know that if both of those armies attack, I'm going to wipe him out. He can't possibly deal with all of this. With all of the elementals, I'm going to have, you know, upwards of 10 elementals on the field, if not more. I'm going to have the hard-hitting barbarian troops, my meat shields buffed up a little bit. It's going to be highly, highly dangerous for him. So, if all that goes off properly, I will destroy the Hun Balam. Now, if he attacks in this direction or in this direction, he could, depending on basically RNG, take on one of these armies individually. If he attacks up here and takes this army on individually, then I think the fight will be very much a toss-up. The strength of giants will help my infantry against his jaguar warriors, but I could well lose this army if he attacks straight in this direction. If he attacks in this direction and runs into this army, I think I win. But we will definitely see how that works out. In either case, I think he's going to take a lot of damage, and I am going to have at least one army free to besiege Mictlan, which will cut his production very, very significantly in a hurry. And that's what I need. In order to win this war, I need to shut down his production as fast as I can, while, of course, maintaining my own. So I have no money. I've spent all of my money. I don't particularly have anything else left to do, except move my scouts out a little bit further. I'm going to keep those scouts there pretty much. Okay, so he has now started summoning Se'irs, and Se'irs are sacred berserking demon warriors that can only be summoned in wastelands. So he has a couple of those available, so he's doing that. Baals can summon them. This is a very traditional Hinnomite strategy. He's taking all of his Baals, who are cannibalistic mages that also sometimes are eaten by Melkarts if they are in the same province, and he's putting them in this province right next to his capital, which is easy to get to, and which is a wasteland, so Baals can cast this blood spell that summons Se'irs, and where there's almost no population, because it is a wasteland, so it has very low population, and it can... so the fact that they eat population doesn't hurt him much. So he's just shoving all his Baals in here, and they're going to stand here, summoning demons, and eating no population that matters, and being safe from the Melkarts until he needs to use them. Now, Baals are pretty dangerous, so attacking this province also has a pretty low success rate. Now, I actually am one of the few nations that has the possibility to carry out a decapitation strike against this kind of thing, because, of course, I have stealthy mages, and I have stealthy mages with high death. So it's technically possible that later in the game I could sneak a whole bunch of Buddhas in there, pop up, summon 1,000,000 skeletons, and drown all these Baals in skeletons. Possible, but unlikely, and certainly it would require a huge amount of prep work and a lot of time dedicated to it, which at the moment I don't have, so that's just gonna have to be what it is. I'm making a note. I know that these guys are here. He also has some Dawn Guards in there, but... Okay, so that'll be something to keep an eye on in the future. He may well build a fortress specifically to protect against those kinds of shenanigans, which would be wise. He should do that. Dominion-wise, I am getting pushed back, I believe, by Yomi. Because Yomi has, of course, built temples in, I think, pretty much all of their provinces. It might be literally all of their provinces, which they should do. That's smart. Over here, we have a Celestial Master commanding an army of mainly demons of heavenly rivers, which are a sacred berserking demon that Tianxi can summon. Since they've taken a heavy bless strategy for their warriors of the 5 elements, those are also going to be very, very dangerous. They're led by a Celestial Master, who is a high-level mage with many, many different paths at relatively low power that can fly. So those guys can make for very nasty flying goon squads. What all of this means is that Tianqi is probably going to be my next target. I already knew that because after negotiating with him, it was pretty much determined that we were going to have to kill each other pretty soon. We're not going to coexist peacefully. And I've been in discussions with about the possibility of him coming up north, because once again, this is a wraparound map, coming up north behind Tianqi after he finishes off Pangaea. So hopefully that will happen. I still have honestly no idea where Niffleheim's capital is. It must be over here, I guess. It's like the only place I haven't seen. The only place where I don't know the names. Must be. Okay. So, yeah, I knew Agartha had gotten to the coast. Let me see if Agartha has taken... So, has taken the water over there, which is good. So, is competing with Agartha underwater. Down here, we have an army of mainly Black Hawks. So, they have been casting Call of the Winds on themselves. Presumably to get cheap patrollers, because Baratos has blood magic, like Hinnom does. And the resource for blood magic is blood slaves, which you get from basically kicking in doors and stealing special people from among your own population. That causes unrest. You set blood mages to do that, and it causes unrest in the province. You can patrol to keep unrest down, and Black Hawks are very, very good at patrolling because they're flying and get a patrol bonus, and you can summon a whole bunch of them for relatively few gems. So that is doubtless what he's doing there. Shahidi... I'm moving Funny Guy up to claim that throne, so Shahidi should just preach, actually, because I really need to try and keep my dominion from being pushed back too much more. I also want to take this throne soon, which I will do with troops from my capital, probably led by the Lion Queen. But that is, I think, going to be my turn for now. Up here, we're building up a pretty significant pile of pygmies. Eventually, we will have a Lion Queen leading a whole bunch of pygmies to cast flaming arrows on them and make their arrows super powerful. Actually, I'm going to move my pygmy recruitment down to the capital for exactly that reason. There we go. Okay, also Karim should, unless you can cast a really cool ritual spell, you should be researching. You could awaken Vinemen. Could you forge the... You can forge the Ivy Crown. So, if you have the Ivy Crown, then you get more Vinemen from awakening Vinemen. Interesting thought. I can also forge... This is one of the interesting items that many nations can't use, but I can. The Effigy of War. Death and nature magic, and what it does is make your army look 50 units bigger. Now, it's a little bit hard to use sometimes, but if you can spring it on someone by surprise and they don't realize what you're doing, you can use it to set up, to kind of push the enemy to react in the way you want. It's a psychological tool. In this situation, I don't think it's going to do all that much good. I could give it to somebody as I recruit troops over here. The other thing that it's useful for is if it makes it look like your army is a horde of troops, then even if they're not fooled into thinking that your army is much larger than it actually is, people may not be able to see what you actually have. So, for example, if you've put an effigy of war in an army, and so it shows, you know, a huge horde of Rhino Clan warriors and elephants, then the enemy might not see that you actually have a whole bunch of some kind of death summon, or a whole lot of war lions, or they might not be able to see all your mages, which can be useful. But I'm not sure I want to forge one right now. I don't think it'll be terribly, terribly useful at the moment. Now this might be useful, actually. A black bow of Botulf might be good against that Hun Balam. I don't have time to set it up right now, but I am going to forge one. Just in case, because it inflicts Feeble Mind. And there's no save against it. If you hit someone with the bow, they are feeble-minded. And being feeble-minded has catastrophic effects on magical power. So, if I can get that Hun Balam with an arrow, or another large, monstrous pretender god with an arrow, then that will cause very, very serious chaos for them. I don't have any other good death items. Now, this is definitely one of the items that I want. The Dwarven Hammer. It takes 3 levels of earth magic and a whole bunch of earth gems, but once you forged it and equipped it, it lets you forge more items for 2 fewer gems. So, Barak, for example, if he uses he already has a forge bonus of 1 in his human form. If he uses a Dwarven Hammer, he has a forge bonus of 3, which means that I can get 5 gem items for more than half off, which is definitely good. But anyway, that'll be for future turns, assuming, of course, Barak survives, which I will always assume, because I assume that I'll win anything. It's how I go about life. So, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.